Well, hello. I hope you all are having a fantastic day today. I thought it would be awesome to do a plant of the day video and share that with you. My plant of the day that I'm going to share with you today is this Calathea Obifolia. You guys can get a hold of how striking her leaves are. She's putting out a new one. Still unraveling that. This girl is just so gorgeous. I think she's just phenomenal. She is a Calathea. So Calatheas in general get a pretty bad rap. I am going to be truthful with you. I've found that the Calatheas, like this Calathea that have the round, very thin leaves with this type of stem, they do not like to drop below 60% humidity. And they don't like any kind of swing in their humidity, whether it be a drop or whatnot. They do not like to have direct air on them from any type of vent. It doesn't even matter if it's, 2-3 feet away from the vent. It won't like it. It will crisp up its leaves, and it will just all around this whole entire edge. It will be a struggle for you. So I know that my fasciata, I know that my and my Rosie, not my Rosie, well actually my Rosie kind of does it too. My Dottie and my Orbifolia, they all struggle through winter. Even if I put them right next to their own personal humidifier, they struggle. It's just the truth. And I know that by the time spring comes around, they're going to be putting out new leaves to replace the leaves they've lost. And they only, especially my fasciata, she only had like 2 half leaves left. It has been an absolute struggle with these plants through the winter, but I'm telling you, it's worth it if you can just have faith that what's going on underneath the soil is good. When they come back and it's summer and the humidity bumps up, they're gonna bless you with new growth, just like this girl is doing right here, okay? So this plant comes from Bolivia and Brazil, tropical rainforest floor. So they are not a climber. They just like to hang out in the forest floor. They would get dappled light through the canopy. Again, they do like bright and direct light. They will do just fine in medium light as well. They would like either, if you're in the northern hemisphere, they would like an eastern facing or northern facing window. If you are in the southern hemisphere, just flip-flop that, and that's what they would like for you. They also do great with grow lights. My girl, she's not near a window because that would give her drafts and shifts in humidity and in her temperature, and she would have an absolute hissy fit. So she has her own grow light in a like a shelving unit that blocks her from any type of draft that she would get from any kind of vent, and she's doing just great there. As far as humidity, we've already covered that. They prefer and will do best when their humidity is above 60%. So whatever you have to do to get them to that point. I'm lucky because I live in North Carolina, and as long as I kind of suck it up a bit and keep my air conditioning down to a minimum and my heat as well. Heat is kind of harder, they struggle through the winter for me, but through the spring, summer, and most of the fall, they do just fine because the humidity here is high. As far as watering, it's a Calathea, it's a pro plant, so it is just gonna not like any type of tap water that has high minerals, elements in the water, or chemicals, especially salts. It's just not gonna like that. So it's best to stay with rainwater, filtered water, or distilled water. I mean, again, rainwater is what this plant would get in its native environment. It's mother's milk to plants. I can't talk today. Oh, good Lord. Okay, as far as soil, you want a well-draining soil. I buy a pre-packaged soil specifically for calatheas that will hold on to just the right amount of moisture without giving it soggy feet, because they don't like that. They have a finer root system than some of the other tropical plants that you could buy, and that's where a lot of people will get in trouble. They'll start seeing their plants throwing a hissy fit, and if you pull out the plant from the pot, you'll get that smell, and you'll know when you look at the roots, they're black and you've got root rot. So because it's fine, the root system, they're more likely to be affected by soggy feet and get that bacterial thing going on in the soil, and then have the breakdown of the roots. So you really want to make sure that they have a really well-draining soil. Also, as a second kind of a backup, you want to keep it in some kind of well-draining pot. This one isn't a draining pot, a nursery pot that has lots of drainage in the bottom there to help the plant get rid of any excess water in its soil it does not want. It'll just drain through there and you can just dump it out. As far as temperatures, again, we've already covered it doesn't like swings in temperature at all. It will throw a fit. It will not like dropping below 60 degrees Fahrenheit. That would be, 16 degrees Celsius if you live anywhere other than the United States. Please forgive me if I did not convert that correctly. It prefers anywhere between 65 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. That would be 18 to 24 degrees Celsius everywhere else in the world. So they do like a little bit of a higher temperature. So you really, if you live in a house in the winter where you like to live on the cooler side and you could let your temperatures drop below 60, this is not the plant for you. Fertilizer, you know how I love my organics. I love to use the liquid dirt. I can control how much I put in each watering. I put a super dilute, maybe a half strength to a quarter strength of whatever it calls for in my watering can, and then I will water my plants with it maybe every watering to every other watering, depending on how much growth they're giving me at that time of the season. Most of my plants continue to grow, except for these guys that usually are in the struggle bus in the wintertime with the heat, because I just can't bump up their humidity enough. I would cut back. These are the few plants I would with the fertilizer, because it would be just an additional stress to it. Whenever I see a plant is stressed, I don't fertilize, because I don't want to add any fuel to the fire, so to speak. I also use worm castings. That is one thing I will continue to give my plants, no matter what's going on with them. I feel like that's something they would get in the wild. Worm dung, any kind of dung in general, they would love, no matter what kind of environment they're in and what's going on with them as a plant. Pests. Spider mites love this plant. Calatheas in general. So you can, maybe treat it prophylactically with, beneficial bugs if you want, with little satchels specifically for spider mites. If you don't want to have to deal with that, it's kind of expensive to ship. You can, maybe treat it with neem oil every once in a while, maybe once a month or every other month. You do want to double check just one part of a leaf and make sure that your neem oil that you've bought is not gonna damage the plant. I found that I can take my little mix of 2 tablespoons of Dawn soap, 2 tablespoons of neem oil, and put it in a gallon of distilled, and treat my plants once every month or so, every other month, and it helps keep spider mites at bay. So I hope you found this video helpful on the care requirements of this beautiful girl, native of Brazil, the Calathea Obifolia. If you have any questions regarding care for this plant, anything that I did not cover, feel free to leave the questions in the comment section below. If you have one of these plants and you found something that this plant absolutely adores as far as care that I did not mention, feel free to leave that in the comments section as well. I feel as a plant community, you know, it's great that we can connect this way and learn from each other. It makes us stronger plant parents in the end, and that's what we're all here for, to be taking the best care of our plants. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and until next time, don't forget to give your plants lots of planty love.